Hey everybody, I'm Stacy Lynn, and today it's all about smoking. You got that right. We're going to be smoking some barbecue ribs. The first thing I'm going to do is make the wonderful dry rub. This dry rub is so good on venison. It is just incredible on that, and to me on this pork and beef. So I've had this out here for a minute. It's so humid here in Alabama. Oh my. And so I'm going to just crumble this up a little bit more because I want to make sure that it gets all nice and incorporated in with the other elements of this. All right, so I've got this now nice and malleable, or into sand texture once again instead of block texture. This happens in the South. Even the salt at the beach, if it doesn't have rice in it, which separates it, it will stick all together and become a block of salt. Here, same thing with the brown sugar. And the brown sugar is light brown sugar. You could use dark if you wanted to do that, or you could actually make a wet well, I guess then it wouldn't be a dry rub, but you could make another rub with it and use molasses. Okay, I'm going to put about a tablespoon of salt, and actually I think I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of salt, and then I'm going to do about a tablespoon of pepper, black pepper. Okay, and then I have some cayenne pepper and some paprika. They're going in. All right, want to get every little bit of that I can. And then I have mustard. I've got dry mustard, garlic, powdered garlic, and powdered onion powder. Onion powder, garlic powder. There you go. Onion powder and garlic powder. All right, and dry mustard. Okay, and now I'm just going to mix that all together, and this is going to go right over my ribs. Okay, not mine exactly, but the ribs that I'm going to be doing. Okay, so I am going to get the ribs going over here. And the first thing you're going to want to do is to pull the membrane off of the back. I've already done 2. And now I'm going to do this. And I needed to have my little knife out here, which I do not have. Let's see. All right, here we go. I'm just going to get this and pull it off. It's easier if you have some handy dandy paper towels, but I didn't use those. All right, so here we are. Got the membrane off, and now I am going to put this dry rub right over the top. I'm going to do it on the membrane side and on the meaty side. Delicious, delicious, delicious. And this has sugar in it, so sometimes it can stick to the grill, but I'm going to make sure that I put oil on the grates of the grill to keep that from happening. And since it's such a low temperature, it probably won't stick as much to the grill. Okay, so you have to do these ribs low and slow. And I'm going to be setting my temperature to 200 degrees. And this recipe is in my latest book, Love Language of the South. And these ribs are truly a love language. There's no doubt about that. All right, so I've got my ribs just about ready. I'm just going to pat that in. My ribs are also room temperature. I feel like it helps to start with room temperature ribs. And so now I can just go and put these on the Barbie, as they say, not in the United States. Okay, so in, I think, Great Britain, I think that's where they say we're going to put this on the Barbie. Okay, so I think that's looking good. Okay, so I put the seasoning on the other 2 slabs, and I am going to wrap this in butcher paper. So you can do this within tinfoil if you like, and I am smoking them, but the smoky flavor isn't going to happen until the very, very end, about the last hour or so. So I'm going to leave these in the smoker for around 1.5 hours. Then I'm going to turn them 180 degrees in the next hour or so. And after that, I'm going to check every 15 minutes to see if they're falling off the bone. And then I'm going to put on the barbecue sauce. So I'm just gonna put these in my smoker, and it is at 200 degrees. If you are doing this over charcoal, just put all the charcoal over to one side and have it really hot on one side. Leave this, these on the side that's not so hot, so that it's low and slow until it starts to fall off the bone and get succulent and wonderful. And then you put that barbecue sauce on it, and it just gets so good. Okay, so I'll meet you back here in just a few minutes after these go on the grill to do this amazing Southern barbecue sauce. You do not want to miss it. Okay, taking this out to the grill. Got them wrapped in butcher paper loosely because I want a little bit of smoke in it now, but I don't want it in the long run, because I really want it that last hour or it would get too much smoke. All right, so I have 3 tips to avoid. One is too high of heat. You can't do it where it's too hot. The second thing is that the smoke, you get too much smoke in there. That's why I wrapped it in the butcher paper. Or you can do it in aluminum foil. And 3, not enough seasoning. You can really not hardly ever, to me, oversalt these ribs. So it sinks into it, brings out the flavor, and it's just delightful. So those are the 3 tips to avoid, and let's go make some barbecue sauce. All right, it is time to make the barbecue sauce. This is my basic barbecue sauce for just about anything barbecue. It is delicious. It is downright Southern, and it is, just so flavorful. The biggest thing to me that I love about this is that it's got that mustard kick. I have a Dijon mustard that I'm going to pour right into the pot. I've got brown sugar, which is so good. I normally don't like sugar in my food, but y'all, it really brings out the flavor in the pork. I think the fat mixing with the sugar is just necessary. And then the salt, of course, which brings the sugar down a notch, and it just all plays together so well. So I have some prepared ketchup, and just use whichever is your favorite. All right, and so you can put cayenne in here. This is paprika. If you want yours a little bit spicier, or you can use Tabasco or your favorite hot sauce, which would be good. And then we have a little bit of onion powder. So here we go. And then we have some apple cider vinegar. So that goes in. It's going to give enough acidity to really balance this sauce out, and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, which I learned that is the correct way to say Worcestershire. Well, at least from my Brit friends. And they came over last week, and we had the best time. Yeah, it was my first time meeting them, but they're going to be lifelong friends to me. And I made everything Southern, all from my book, and I gave them all kinds of little appetizers of the different really, really Southern things in the book, and they really, really loved it. So that was so much fun. Okay, it looks like my barbecue sauce is made. All right, here we go. Look at that. That is just so beautiful. Now, you know what? I did not add the salt. Let me add the salt. All right, here we go. And so I'm using about a teaspoon of salt and about a half of a teaspoon of pepper. Okay. I was about to taste it and see how, if the seasonings tasted right, and I'm like, I didn't even add salt to that. Okay, let me give it a taste. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. Okay, here you go. And that's what you need to do, is just always taste your food, and it will always be right. It will, I promise you. You just need to do that. Take a tasting spoon. When I was in a restaurant working in Alaska, they had these little spoons, and they had them over, I guess since COVID, they used to not worry about it. They just taste it. But then they had all these plastic spoons in a big box over next to the stove, and they were passing them out constantly. Hand me a spoon. And that's the way you know that your food is good. All right, barbecue sauce is done. Now it's time just to sit, have fun with the family, and wait for the barbecue ribs to be done. See you back in a minute. Okay, we're down here at the grill. It's time to put the sauce on these awesome ribs. All right, don't want to touch that. It's super hot. Okay, bringing these out. All right, so got one out, and I am going to drench it with this. Now, I will say here is a tip to pour the sauce onto the rib, because it will absolutely, you don't want to double dip, you know, you don't want to do that, because we want to have some sauce left over for later. There we go. Yum. Getting it all over the entire thing. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to put this in bone side down for about 3 minutes. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and add this one, and then I'm going to add all the other ones. Okay. I also upped the temperature to 450 degrees on the grill. And if you are using a charcoal grill, just move everything to the really hot side and get a good char on the outside of these ribs. All right, I'm getting the last one out of the grill. Look at that char. Oh, I just love this. Oh my gosh, I love ribs that look like this. So I'm going to let it sit here for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to plate it up, and I'm going to serve my wonderful barbecue sauce, and I'm going to put some Alabama white sauce on top of that. And it is going to be so doggone great. Okay, time to cut these up. They've been resting for a good minute, actually 15 to be exact. So they look so meaty and delicious. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Ribs have to be one of my very favorite things ever. All right. So this is coming along beautifully. Look at how it's still on the bone, but it's been pulled back just a little bit off of the bone. So you're seeing it. And that shrinkage means that it's there. It is there and it is ready. All right, so I'm just going to plate this up. I'm going to put a couple of pieces on the plate here and decorate it up really pretty like. At least to me, it's really pretty like. Or you could just devour it. You could just get right into it. But this is great for like a game night. People can just come over, get a rib, you know, and they can just grab the bottom of they could just grab the bone, you know, if they want to. All right, now I'm going to wipe up my hands just a bit, and I'm going to put a little bit of barbecue sauce over the tops. This is not going to be clean. This is going to be a little bit of a mess. But hey, you're not supposed to be clean eating here when you're eating ribs. All right, and I'm going to save some of the sauce, put it in like a bowl, and then have a spoon, and people can put it on their own little plate and spoon it up. And then Alabama white sauce. Oh, it's so good. Bob Gibson from Decatur, Alabama in 1925 or 9 came up with this recipe. I'm just going to drizzle that over the top. It's a mayonnaise-based dressing that is unbelievably delicious. It is great with this barbecue sauce. And now I'm just going to put some parsley over the top of that. Now, if you don't think this is good, I think something might be wrong with you. So I am going to take a big bite of this, and I'm going to see if this is good. I felt it get all over my face, but that's okay. Oh, this is dreamy. I taste a little bit of sugar, a good bit of vinegar, not too much though. Some just of that delicious seasoning, a little bit of cayenne. Oh my gosh, just a little in the back of my throat. Y'all, you have to try this recipe. It is in my recipe. I'm about to eat another bite, but it's in my latest book, Love Language of the South. I hope you'll get a copy, and I hope that you're going to make these ribs as soon as you can get the ribs in your refrigerator. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.